So I have just picked up a new project car for the channel and it's sitting in the garage right behind me. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you might have an idea of what the car will be, but I actually purchased the car from Copart. So as you can imagine, there is also some crash damage on the car that's gonna need to be fixed. Right, without further ado, let's open up this garage and show you what I purchased. So yes, I have indeed picked up another Ford Fiesta for the channel. We did previously have a Ford Fiesta and that was my first ever car, which we did some modifying to, and that was all over the channel. Unfortunately, this obviously happened to that car, so we couldn't manage to get it onto track. So this is essentially the resurrection. We've got this car which does need some damage fixing on it, but we're then going to try and turn it into a pretty cool little track car. So in this video, I'm going to go through the specs of this car and explain why it's a little bit cooler than my previous Fiesta. I'm also going to show the damage that's on the car in a bit more detail, and I'm also going to tell you exactly how much I paid to get this car from Copart to where it is now. One of the first things we are definitely going to have to do is give this a clean. Literally where I was just sat on it, you can see my arse print is now firmly on the bonnet. Nice. So what makes this different from my previous Fiesta is this is actually a Zetec S. That gives it the sportier kit around the side and the different spoiler as well. This is also the 1.6 litre engine compared to the 1.4 litre engine I had before. But there's more to it than that. So not only is this a Zetec S, but it is also the Metal Edition. Now that means a few different things. So under the bonnet, it is still the 1.6 naturally aspirated engine. However, they gave it an upgraded air intake for better airflow. So in addition to the upgraded air intake, they also fitted an upgraded exhaust to this car that helped again with the airflow. So with the upgraded air intake and the upgraded exhaust combined with a little bit of tuning, Ford managed to get these coming out of the factory with 134 brake horsepower. Now that's not bad for a 1.6 naturally aspirated engine with no turbo. So because this is the metal edition of the Zetec S, it also came with some nicer features on the inside of the car. So the seats themselves, rather than being made out of cloth, are actually full leather, which is really nice. Now I've also read online that they are heated seats. So I will have to find the button that does that and see if they work. All of the trim pieces on the door handle, etc., they all come in this nice gloss black. I tried to replicate this on my old Fiesta with wrap and it went horribly wrong and looked awful. The other thing as well is that this car comes with climate control, which is crazy to me that just on a basically pretty standard Fiesta, the Metal Edition has that upgraded climate control, which is a nice thing to have. So like the trim pieces, there's also some other upgraded bits in here. You get nicer pedals down the bottom. You also get this gear stick here, which is upgraded, I believe, from what I had, as well as a nice leather gaiter. Although you can probably see in this close-up shot, the gear stick is in need of good repair. Could try and repair this one and make it look nicer. But I've also got the really funny 8-ball one I had on my previous Fiesta, which I'm probably just going to fit on here. Overall, I think these Fiesta Metal Editions are great little cars and they're kind of a hidden gem that most people don't know much about. But I now want to jump back in time to when this Copart car first arrived. As you can see, the car is definitely able to run and drive as the guy was able to unload the car via the car's own power. However, there was a sign that either this car might not have been that well looked after or it's just been sat for a very long time because of this. It's literally bone dry, like I can put my fingers on it, there's nothing. It's empty. Yeah, so doing my first inspections when the car arrived, I have to say, I think the engine is drier than your nan's ashes. It has no oil whatsoever in this thing. So I'm just going to top it up with some fresh oil, but we'll do a proper service to get that sorted later on. So although the car has been sat for quite a while, I'm pretty sure it will start up if we give it a little go now, and you can hear what it sounds like. Not bad. It seems to be running fairly smooth. Definitely could be done with a good service, but actually not too bad considering it's been sat for probably quite a while. I'm going to quickly show you what that upgraded exhaust sounds like. So when you buy a car from Copart, you don't get told any of the history or what's going to come with the car. So what I'm going to do now is have a little dig through the car and see if I can find any hidden artifacts. Starting in the boot is always a fun one. We do have a parcel shelf, which I think is actually kind of rare for Copart cars. These seem to just go missing on all the salvage auction cars, but we have one, which is good, so I don't have to buy one. There's some, I think, caps for the wheels in here that are just hiding away, so I'll keep hold of those. So I didn't know this about these Fiestas. Apparently, it seems to have come fitted with some like Velcro bits and elasticated bits to secure stuff down in the back here. That's a nice little feature. So the main event is obviously underneath into the wheel well. We do have a spare tyre, and if we get lost, we've got some maps of Great Britain and Ireland. Oh, of course, it is an Audi special. Well, we can remove these and get some weight savings instantly. This is something I don't think my Fiesta had. It looks like something to actually lock down the spare wheel. My spare wheel was just kind of loose. Let's get this out. Do you know what? I think that's a pretty good... it's like I should definitely have gloves for this. There's some like grim tissue on here. But this spare wheel seems decent. It's actually, it's like never been used. It's like got a nice tread on it and everything. Feels good. Oh, it's actually a Bridgestone. Who puts Bridgestones on their on their spare wheel? Fair enough. It's a bit bougie. That's a nice little find that they have some fresh Bridgestones on the spare wheel. Hopefully that means it's a little insight that maybe they did care about the car, the previous owner. Right, now comes to the true treasure finding in the back here. Oh, look at that. There's a free screwdriver. There's a... What is this? A Starbucks cookie straw. Nice. If I get hungry, you know, keep hold of that one. Oh, an 18 rack shit. What other good finds are in here? Oh, there's some nice makeup, Maybelline makeup. Some Dove Original deodorant. Spare light bulbs. Nick Inslee, Daredevil science presenter. What? Whoa. What is this? Okay. Interesting. Oh, it looks like an old receipt, but it's like completely faded. There's nothing on it. Oh, they've got the actual widow jack still in here and everything, and the tow hook and everything. That's nice. In fact, that's all still in here. There's a load more caps for the wheels. Now, this is interesting. If you get a Sainsbury's receipt, I can get an insight as to what kind of person this was. Oh, okay. So they spent a whopping £9, and what they got was some lemonade, some Pringles, some Jaffa cakes, and another 10 lots of Jaffa cakes. Fair enough. This person who had the car previously obviously liked Jaffa cakes. What's the date on this? This is 2022. Okay. It also tells you where it was. Ah, so this is London. Okay. Gives you some insight. It's a decent amount of rubbish, but also some nice new tools, which you can't complain about. So in addition to the cool finds we found in the back of the car, there is also a whole load of crud that's sitting at the bottom of here. Now I want to get this cleaned out, but it's a bit of a pain to pick up all those tiny pieces. So I have a solution. I have this really cool compressed air duster from Vantrue. Now this is kind of like the middle ground between a full petrol leaf blower and one of those tiny little compressed air cans you get. But don't be surprised, just because it's small, it does pack a lot of power, this thing. So you can see in here, there is just a load of dirt and debris sat in the bottom of here. Now I don't really know how else I would pick this up, literally one by one. Like try and get a dustpan and brush in there, probably not going to work. Or of course, we're going to use this. It does have 3 settings. On the lowest setting, it will last for a whole 2 hours. But of course, we're not going to use it on the lowest setting. We want full power. And on full power, this thing is insane. Literally, with a quick few seconds of blasting that thing, it is looking so much tidier. And not only the fact that it's looking tidier, but that is also some weight saving. So we'll take that That is actually really good. I'm impressed. On the lowest setting, it's 25,000 RPM. Middle setting is 35,000 RPM. And on full setting, it goes up to 90,000 RPM, which is insane. And you saw how well it worked to get all the leaves and crud out the bottom of this car. Obviously, it is wireless and it comes with a USB-C charger point at the back here. And it's actually really quick to charge it up. But this isn't just for automotive purposes. Of course, it does work great for stuff like this, as well as drying a car just after you've washed it. But my dad saw this and he really wanted to go to clear out all the leaves from down the back of the shed. So I gave it to him and this is how well it worked. So it's got the seal of approval from me and my dad. So if you want to get one yourself, check out the link in the description. You can get yourself some money off as well and help out the channel in the process. Right, let's get back to the car and see if there's any hidden treasures at the front. So coming around to the interior at the front of the car, there was no hidden artifacts this side. There was no service book, nothing. So I have no idea if this car has been serviced or not, if it's had the timing belt done, etc. So we'll have to see if we can look into that and find out any more details online. You'll also see in there, if you can see well enough, that this car is only on 72,000 miles. Considering the car is a 2012 car, 72,000 miles is actually pretty low, and I'm actually super happy with that. Although what that does mean is it's probably getting close to when the timing belt needs doing, so I'll have to see if it's been done or not. I can maybe ring Ford, see if they've got any service history, because at the moment I have no idea what's been done to this car. So, of course, it is not perfect. I bought this car from Copart, so it did come with some crash damage. Now, this is a category N car, which means it's non-structural. So there's no structural parts, hopefully, that are damaged on this car. It is all just more the cosmetic-y side. So the headlight, the front bumper, and this wing here have all been damaged. If I give you a close-up of the damage, you can see the bumper has all kind of caved in here. It is all just plastic, so it crumpled like it should. This is cracked along here, the actual bumper, hence the reason we need a whole new front bumper. This headlight has got a crack in it, I can put my finger straight through. And this wing has bulged outwards. This is actually metal, but it has indeed kind of pushed outwards. That also means that the passenger door doesn't currently open properly, but I'm hoping once a new wing is on, that we will still be able to use that door and there's nothing wrong with the door, hopefully. So the other thing I said I would mention in this video is going through exactly how much it costs to buy the car and to get it here. So if I look at the Copart receipt, it only cost me £825 to actually win the bid for this car, which I think is incredibly good value. But let me know down in the comments, do you think that was a good price for this car or not? Now, of course, if you know anything about Copart, it doesn't just end at the actual win fee for the bid. There are loads of, they say hidden fees, but if you know a bit about Copart, you kind of expect them, and so did I, so it wasn't too bad. I kind of expected the extra costs to be coming my way. So let's go through exactly how much it cost in total. So the sale price is £825, the buyer fee was £195, the internet bid fee was another £39, just for the privilege of being able to bid online. They charge you, of course. The lot retrieval fee was £50, bearing in mind that it was actually the Copart people that picked this up, or at least through their own provider. Then the cost for actually delivering it, so I paid the Copart delivery charge. I just got them to do it because I didn't know anyone that could pick it up. So although you could probably get this cheaper, I just paid them, and it was £250 for them to go and get the car for me. And then there was also this much VAT on top of that. So the total amount that I paid for this car with all the extra fees, getting it here, and the tax, it was £1,465.80. Now, obviously it's a lot more than the £825 bid fee that I actually paid, but I think that is still a really good price for this car. I think that's probably actually half of the value of the car. Now, the insurance company would have written this off because they would have said, oh, it's probably like 3 to 6 grand to do the repairs on that. Yes, if you were to buy brand new parts and spray paint them to match, etc., etc., I've hopefully managed to pick up all the parts I should need for less than £300. So fingers crossed, if those are the only bits that I need, this should be a good value for money project. So as you can see, I've already been very busy ordering all the parts needed to hopefully fix this car and get it back on the road. But that is going to be in the next video. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming up. But that is it for this one. I'll catch you in the next one.